we have the current stock market update for SoFi Technologies Incorporated, stock ticker SOFI. Before we begin, if you find these educational materials to be helpful in your trading, please remember to click the like and subscribe buttons so that other traders will be able to find this information more easily on the platform. So here we have the 4-hour price chart, and we can see that the stock is starting to see a bit of resistance, a bit of a headwind here, coming in right around the prior price highs of $7.79. So as we can see here, this is a fairly significant price level, given the fact that we have now retraced most of the prior decline that had been in place ever since the July 18 trading session. So I will be going over some of these specific price levels here so that we can determine what is the most likely outlook for this stock and identify some support and resistance zones that can be used for profitable trading strategies in SoFi going forward. So as we can see currently, there is a bit of headwind here or resistance coming in just before the $7.80 mark. This does sort of work in anticipation to the, I've been calling this a double top resistance zone. I mean, it's not exactly whether or not that actually fits the textbook definition would be a bit up for debate here. But this 806 and 795 level, I am sort of viewing this as a double top, even though these price levels are not exactly lining up. It's 11 cents apart. It's a little bit more than you would like to see. With the development of a double top pattern, as far as structure is concerned, but given the size of the decline that we have seen here at both of these figures, does really lead me to believe that that's what's actually going on here. You can't always expect these price levels to match up perfectly. So given the size of the prior rally, we moved from 615 to 806, sort of failed at 806. And then sort of tested this $8 roughly mark again, and then fell again to the $6 mark. There's enough symmetry here for me to suggest that this is sort of a double top region. This is sort of a symmetrical pattern here, and we can sort of view this $8 level as the real critical line in the sand for the stock going forward. As things currently stand, the real question is whether or not are we going to be testing this level or not. If we sort of pull out on the chart a bit here, we can see that the broader trajectory here has been in the downside direction. So you could definitely make the argument that the stock is undervalued at this point relative to its longer term averages. If we go back to the end of 2023, December 2023, we can see that this stock was trading well over $10 per share. So the idea that this $8 resistance zone would be such a difficulty might seem sort of counterintuitive or unlikely. But as things currently stand, we can see that there is a significant amount of downside momentum that it has been focused in this current direction. However, what I would really be pointing to here would be this sort of trend development here, where the share price itself did actually break through this prior downtrend. It's been erratic. We have seen some upside price movements and then some significant movements lower. And that's when you start to suggest that there might be a false breakout occurring. But I do think that if we're able to break back above this $8 mark, then this would suggest that this is a legitimate channel break here, downtrend channel break, that we would be able to start to gain some momentum to the top side. So if we pull out here to the indicator reading, there are some interesting developments here as well. We can start to see that, near term, there has been some downward momentum that has been created for this stock. If we're looking at the relative strength index, which is this purple line at the bottom of the price chart, we have seen some areas of suggestion here, which do imply that there is downward momentum that's currently developing. But if we look at the longer term trajectory here, there is still a bit of an upward trend here. It's not a dramatic trend, but we are seeing higher lows on the RSI, and this would be viewed on a longer term basis relative to this more recent downtrend that we're seeing currently. In addition to that, you've got a bit of a breakout here to the top side. It's not convincing, but given the fact that the RSI is trading above its own exponential moving average, so that's the purple line trading above the yellow line. Overall, this does suggest that we could start to move higher here, and we do have some space before the stock becomes overbought. Currently, the indicator reading on the RSI is showing right around 63 and a half. So there is still some room here to extend further before share prices start to become overextended. The real question here going forward is going to be whether or not share prices become overbought as we're moving into this $8.06 area. So if that is the case, then you could expect to start to see prices roll over here and possibly fail for a third time. If that is the case, that would be an ominous event because that would then create a triple top resistance zone. And those can be very difficult to break to the top side. And then if you pair that with the fact that, the longer term trend momentum here, is still focused on the downside direction, that could sort of give you a scenario where, further downside price movements would be expected. So overall, looking at these specific price levels here, we can see that this $8 mark is fairly critical in terms of understanding or believing that we're actually in the midst of a broader trend reversal here. For the most part, if you pull out to the longer term timeframes, as I just did, the trend is clearly pointed in the downward direction. But the real issue here is whether or not the share price has currently found a bottom right around the $6 mark. There are arguments that can be made in both directions here. But we're starting to see some upside breakout activity, at least relative to this prior downtrend price channel that we were seeing. So, there are a few different factors at work here. And then in addition to that, there's the NVIDIA earnings report that will be released after the bell on Wednesday. So that's after the market closes on Wednesday. And it does look like there are many, many stocks at the moment that are already being influenced by these trends. So some people are taking money out of technology stocks already due to the fact that there might be an increase in market volatility heading into this number. That's perfectly understandable and not surprising at all. So, it might seem like, a personal finance company, banking app like SoFi might be immune to something like that. But I do think that the overall technology space will continue to be impacted by this NVIDIA earnings release, all the way into the number, and then probably into Thursday and Friday as well. So here's the current market update for SoFi Technologies Incorporated, stock ticker SOFI. Our high value trading strategies membership is currently available for a limited time for only $9.99 per month. These high conviction investment strategies are characterized by superior risk to reward metrics that target massive market beating returns over time. Join now to outperform the market, lock in this special introductory rate of just $9.99 per month for the entire lifetime of your membership, and start trading stocks with the pros.